Wouldn't you want to play video games for a living? Well, we actually met a guy that does. His name's Stefan Lister. He's got his own TV show. It's called Game Days on, like, this television channel. And it's really cool. We just want to go talk to him about it. What about you, Alex? Josh,
I had the very fine opportunity to talk to Evelyn Lau, go listen to her read some poetry. She's an excellent writer. She's a very cool chick.
Well, a lot of teenagers seem to be pretty pissed off that mainstream radio doesn't play hip-hop. Well, we found a tiny radio station on an Indian reserve called Monster on the Seaway, and they play hip-hop 5 days a week.
There are some grade 11 students taking part in the Young Entrepreneurs program. We were hooked up with a few and found out what running a business is all about.
Trends come and go, and what one generation wouldn't be caught dead doing, the next thinks it's where it's at. So we gathered the crew and went cafeing, shopping, and bowling just to prove that what once was considered to be for losers has become trendy again.
Go look at the top 20 sellers in HMV, which sells a lot of product in Sam the Record Man, and you'll see hip-hop is in there, no doubt.
It's not the majority of our audience that wants to hear hip-hop or house while they're at work or while they're driving into the office in the morning.
Mainstream radio doesn't even reflect. They don't even have a show or two where they can even say, yo, well, you know, we're trying to reach out to the kids. They don't care.
Is mainstream radio really playing what teenagers want to hear? Well, we found one radio station that definitely is. K103, also called Monster on the Seaway, is a tiny radio station that broadcasts out of an Indian reserve, and they play hip-hop 5 nights a week.
103.7 FM, K103 Street Sounds. There's our lady, Foxy Brown from the Ilana CD. And Get Me Home, the new single coming out real soon. Look out for it. I got to clean it up, though, for you. Not exactly air-playable yet.
Where do people listen to K103? Would you find it in, like, youth centers or clubs? Or?
I'm finding it all over the place. I mean, yeah, we find, of course, we get the calls from the students from all the high schools in the Montreal area. Also, we do a lot of promotions with the dance clubs in the city. So, again, we're hitting the gamut. The schools, the clubs, and even the businesses.
So what are people requesting on your show? What are some of the more popular titles?
Oh, everything from some of the smooth R&B stuff like Bone Thugs and Harmony, Total, SWV, all the way to some of the more rougher edge stuff like Busta Rhymes, DJ Cool.
What has the response been to the hip-hop show?
It's been overwhelming. It's been overwhelming from the listener's point of view. It's been overwhelming from the advertiser's point of view.
Why do you think hip-hop has become so popular with teenagers?
Well, I can't speak for the teenagers, but from what I can gather, it's something that they can call their own.
It's like a lot of skateboarders who listen to hip-hop. There's a lot of, it's just so many different crowds, you know. It's just huge. Like, I think K103 is going to open up the doors for other stations to, like, let them play more hip-hop and stuff, because that's what most people are listening to these days.
How come you guys don't play hip-hop specifically?
Primarily hip-hop. We're not a hip-hop radio station.
Do you think there is a market for hip-hop in mainstream radio?
I think
if you
there
guys
is.
aren't going to play it, do you think there is?
I think there is. As long as there's a group of people out there who want to hear it and buy it, then there's a market.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot. What do you got?
Okay, Come See Me from 112.
Yeah, I played that a little while ago. I'll throw it on later. How's that?
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
All right.
Maybe they're afraid to get involved in. Maybe they believe there's not a sellable audience because radio, first of all, it's all advertising. Maybe they're thinking, oh, this R&B hip-hop stuff is like, well, we can't sell it. It's just for kids.
I would tell them, do a music plus, and K103 is doing it. Sample it. You know what I mean? At least try it out. Give it a whole hour. You know what I mean? And see your response.
Do you have a lot of advertisers who want the, airspace specifically on the hip-hop show because they recognize the market?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been sold out for the past 4 months, and we have actually a waiting list of advertisers to come on to the show. So that's how popular it is.
They're not leaders. They're followers. You know what I mean? And K103 is a leader. And K103 is going to take hip-hop to a new level. Trust me. You know what I mean? Give it a couple of years, you can see a lot of the stations be following K103. But by then, it'll be too late.
103.7 FM, K103 Street Sounds. There's our lady.
debate about whether condoms should be given out in school, but now there's a new question. Should the school nurse be able to give out the morning after pill? So we took to the streets to find out what y'all thought.
If they're going to dispense out condoms, why not?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, it'd be more convenient, but it's not that big of a deal to go into the CLSC and get it yourself.
It should be available for those who do screw up, kind of thing.
I don't know. That might be promoting sex a little more than condoms.
People would think it'd be more okay, to engage in unsafe sex because they can get the morning after pill in school.
People start using the morning after pill for birth control. I think VDs will go up. AIDS will spread more than it has, and yeah, stupid.
They might resort to just the morning after pill instead of condoms and stuff like that.
From what I've heard about the morning after pill, it really wrecks your body. It makes you feel really horrible, and I don't think people would choose that as an option.
A lot of girls, unfortunately, are having sex, and a lot of them get pregnant. So it's easier to go there than maybe to go to a hospital or go see their doctor for it.
Kids are going to do what they want to do, and the adults might as well try and help them if anything goes wrong.
You might have conjured her in story or verse. She might have stepped out of those pages, but for the sulk in her face, for the wilting gaze, the cleaving smile. She was a lifetime commitment from the start. She stepped out of one of your books, into your arms, and whispered, "Save me." It's pretty powerful, and it's not surprising considering what Evelyn Lau has been through. At 14, she ran away from home. At 15, she was a prostitute. And by the time she was 18, she'd published her book, Runaway Diary of a Street Kid. Since then, she's become a celebrated author and poet.
In reality, she was overweight and ponderous, scarred more by acne than a heroine's tragic past.
I think the best writers are just simply extremely observant and who observe the world and the worlds of those around them and translate that into their own writing.
How do you sort of feel that it was your diaries that really catapulted your career?
I've been very ambivalent about that. I don't think I could have catapulted my career any other way. I had no idea sort of what it would mean to me as a person over the years to have that much known about my past. It puts you at a constant disadvantage. I mean, even to meet you for the first time and to have you know all these things about me, whereas I know nothing about you, makes me feel very vulnerable. I can't imagine that I was ever that way or that I ever behaved that way or was ever so powerless. But at the same time, those experiences have had an enormous impact on certainly my personal life. But I'm always a little bit leery of reading in school settings because I think, how many people actually want to be here and how many people are sort of falling asleep.
The CBC television movie that was made about your life, does it do justice to your story?
I didn't watch it. Well, I thought if I don't like it and I watch it, and then of course everyone's going to be asking me what I thought of it. I don't want to lie. So I thought, well, the easiest thing would be if I just simply didn't watch it.
In what direction will you be taking your writing presently or in the future? Where are you taking your writing?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea, I spent the last year working on a novel that is now sitting in my desk drawer, and I'm not happy with it. And I thought it was going to be finished and published, and everything, and it's just, it reached a point where it isn't going much further. And so I'm back to writing some poetry again, and I'm very interested in writing another book of short stories.
Do the women in your poems and in your writing, do they know that you've written about them or written about certain experiences? Or?
It's interesting, though. I mean, I've written about things I've seen, things I've observed, friends, people have drifted across my life, and some of them have recognized themselves. And usually, I was surprised. I mean, I thought I would lose some friends along the way as a result of that, but in fact, they're usually quite flattered.
Yeah.
They go around bragging, hey, that was me, in chapter 8 or whatever.
A very loud round of applause for Ms. Evelyn Lau. Thank you.
I'm back to writing poetry again, which is pretty exciting, because I think that's where my real voice lies. Wow, that was some welcome. I'm starting off with a brand new poem. The inspiration for the poem was a series of articles about a 21-year-old Serbian soldier who was awaiting his own execution for the murders of 29 Muslims. Now the world press is at your father's doorstep to hear him say he wishes it had been him.
instead of the anonymous men, women, children, kneeling on the floor so hard they bruised their knees, leaning into sensation and life.
You really get a better sense of her voice when it's her reading.
I thought it was great. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful writer. I remember reading her in high school, and I was really affected by her book.
I want other people to be struck by my work the way that I am when I am reading something meaningful.
Thank you.
Damn it! Well, I love playing video games, but it's really costing me a lot of money. There's got to be a better way. Renting is probably a better idea, because at least you get to try out the game cheap before you buy it. But we found a guy who gets to play nothing but video games for a living.
Hey there, I'm Stefan, and you've been looking at some of today's games, including... Someone asked me if I could get on camera and talk about video games for 5 minutes, and I said, I could talk about video games for a week. And that was it. I just came on and did a 5 to 10 minute segment, and it caught people's attention, and I just kept on doing it.
Second one, you gotta start off.
We gotta do more?
Yeah, just do one more.
I don't know anything about television. I've been playing video games for 20 years, though.
What exactly do you have to do to prepare for the show?
Okay, say I got a show coming up, I'll send the word out over the net to the developers saying, I want this game or that game or whatever, and then they send it to me. Then when I receive the game, I'll play it nonstop for about a day and a half or two till I've mastered it. And then I'll write up between 3 and 5 reviews of the games. And then I'll go into the studio, play the game, we tape me playing the game, and then I do a voiceover in the box where I recant my script.
Now, when you say 1 to 2 days of game playing, how many hours is that?
20 to 30, and I'll just play straight. Like, I'll go to the bathroom, but it's pretty much straight.
Does it sometimes get, I guess, boring, like trying to play the same game over and over again, especially when you don't like it, maybe?
Yeah, it's when, like, if a game's really bad, that's fine, because I can really get venomous in my reviews. And if it's really good, that's fine, because it's, I like it. It's all the games that are in between that are not really that bad, not really that good. Those are the tough ones to get through.
So don't you ever feel some kind of pressure sometimes? Because these people are sending you, like, all these games to review for them, and then you say, like, it sucks. Do they ever get mad or something like that?
I don't care how much money they have. If a game sucks, it sucks. I'll slam it. Sega got really mad at me, and it's been tough getting games from Sega. Yeah. But they still send them.
What kind of response do you get when you film the show? Do a lot of people start calling in or bother you?
They don't bother me. I get a ton of mail.
On the other shows, they don't show much of the game at all, or the graphics, because they show the people playing it. Where when he does his show, you see the whole game, the graphics and everything while he's talking.
He's right, because each time I don't like a game, he doesn't like it, and each game we bought is because he liked it.
He has excellent ratings on his games. Like I just recently bought a game he reviewed called Diablo, and it's a hit. I would give it a 9 out of 10 or higher.
This next game does water better than any game has ever done it before, and it's called Wave Race 64. In a further demonstration of the Japanese art of taking a very simple idea and executing it flawlessly, Wave Race 64 presents the gamer with a chance to ride around on a water ski.
Why do you think, personally, video games are so popular?
The real reason, I think, is a reason you're not going to use on your show, but I think it's because most people's lives are pretty crappy, and it's a way to escape into another world. But for TV, well, there's the entertainment factor. The racing isn't completely true to life, though. On the real circuits, when you approach drivers that have been lapped, they're supposed to let you by. Not in this game, though. These drivers are pretty obnoxious, especially the Ferrari team.
Whoa, man, that was close.
Hey, I cleared it.
Yeah, you cleared it.
I finished in first, man.
Yeah, but you should have been in first place, like, from, after the first lap.
So, do I get to be on your show, or?
No.
No?
No, you're not good enough.
Oh, come on. I did pretty good here. You play FIFA or something? Come on.
I don't like sports games.
We organize an event in a shopping mall where there are several groups that are able to show and sell their products.
Yesterday the sales weren't too great, but today it's like amazing.
order any style you want. Like this one is from a music group.
This is the new for the spring 97. Now see how they look on that perfect body.
Since 1919, grade 11 students like them have been part of the Young Entrepreneurs program. It teaches them the ins and outs of business and how to create and sell different products, including this.
Okay, hi. Tonight's agenda, okay, first of all, we're going to hear the minutes of the last meeting.
What they do is they form a board of directors, they choose a president and the vice president, then they sell shares to finance their company, they choose a certain product, they market the product, they sell it, they also produce it.
Today we went to the Maxi to sell other banani. We sold 4 today. It's acceptable for only 2 hours of sales.
Helen, why this product?
Well, look at it. Do you have this at home?
No.
No. It's original. Like, I didn't even know what this could do before I made it.
Other groups came up with relatively normal products. How did you come up with the banana holder?
It was brainstorming, so I don't know how it came up like that, but after a while, like, we decided to take that one because it was original.
You are selling a product at Maxi. How did that come about?
Well, we were thinking about places we could sell because, like, we have a lot of friends and teachers we could sell them, but eventually we're going to have to sell to other people.
Right.
And the best place is Maxi.
Yes.
So you hang them and they won't become yucky. And your banana can be fresh a long, long time.
How easy was it to sell your product to the owner of Maxi?
We went a couple of times. They only took our names the first time. And eventually, well, we went to meet them and he gave us the permission. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nous autres, on est les jeunes entreprises. On fait des supports à bananes.
What did it feel like selling banana holders at Maxi's?
Felt great. At first I thought he wouldn't buy it, but when he told me that, yeah, sure, I'm gonna buy it, I was like, are you sure? Well, yeah. So it felt good. Okay, what's next? I'd just like to tell that our goal for tonight is to assemble at least 30 banana hangers.
They learn how to run a company from the beginning. But mostly what they learned this time was to work all together, the 10 of them.
Do you guys get along?
Yeah, a lot. Well, at first, not a lot, but now it's okay.
What can you tell me about the experience?
Well, it's a very good experience because the counselors, they're always there to help us, but they don't actually tell us what to do. We have to decide by ourselves what we want to do, because after all, it's our company.
Why are you helping the students from the Young Entrepreneurs program?
About 15 years ago, I had my own business. And I know the problem you got when you have your own business. And this product, I think the product is very new. I think it's very interesting to customer. We don't have it on this market now.
So how did you do today?
Not bad, look.
Oh, wow. Not bad at all.
They're really successful. And when they're going to close up their book, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a big, big, big success, as they wanted that to be.
Okay, man. Let's go inside, see if we can dress cool and pick up women. This is gonna be hip. Let's go.
What do you think of these? Well, not too long ago, many people wouldn't be caught dead wearing a pair of pants like this. I personally like them. And like everything else, fashion is cyclical, so what once was considered geeky has now become, once again, très chic.
Hello.
Hi.
I think I know just what you guys need. Follow me.
I'm just worried about your own back, baby. You're gonna be dead in less than 10 moves, honey.
The concept is to be relaxed, to be at home. Like we try, like you see, I try to put couch here for the student to come to study in the couch or to play chess or to have a coffee. People do look for socialize. That's why it's so many coffee shops.
Checkmate.
Oh, Jesus.
Gentlemen, dinner is served here.
You can do homework, you can read a book, you can come here with your friends. You can have a date here at coffee shops. It's amazing. It's like all-round, all-purpose place.
It must be easier to pick up girls here. At least you can talk to them. Every Friday night, you'll go to a club or something. But every other day of the week, you're at a coffee shop or you're at out playing maybe a game of pool or something. It's just so relaxing.
Why do you think youth culture is moving away from the bar scene and into the coffee shops? I don't know. It's not hectic. It's it's a lot more relaxed.
Because of the ambience, and you can play, you can take a coffee.
But it's more of a loungy feel, couches to sit back on.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking jive that you can't bowl?
How is this about you being a bad bowler?
Back when I bowled in Milan, I came across 2 or 3 different bowlers with their exact style.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Look at this.
Grace yet power. Oh, there you go. There's none. See what I'm talking about? You understand?
I think the great thing about watching girls bowl is you always get to see their butt. There's a flip side to that. There's a flip
But what's
side.
that about watching girls bowl?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Now watch the mentor at work. Strike, 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 strike. Yes.
It comes so naturally. I mean, once I start feeling warm, I ultimately feel hot.
Do you know they found out that bowling ball holes have the most germs out of any place anywhere?
Are you good?
Not really, but it's okay. It's still fun.
I find it's coming back more now because if you incorporate today's technology and you get the music and you get people to dance, it's more fun than just sitting around and throwing a ball.
I don't know why in the past couple of years it's becoming so popular. It's like
I think so.
I think so. I think it's everything that's sort of considered geeky or loserish is now cool.
Hey.
Not so bad.
Not bad at all. Thanks, you've been a great help.
Yeah, well, I was wondering, what are you guys doing later?
Whoa.
Well, that's it for this week. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye.
If you have any story ideas for the show, get in touch with us. You can fax us, you can phone us, you can write us, and you can even reach us on the internet.